work. The name of the work is Analytical Characterization of Tequila, Silver Class, using stable isotope analysis of carbon and oxygen and copper content by atomic absorption spectroscopy as an additional criteria to determine authenticity of beverage. The authors of the work are MC Humberto Gómez Ruiz from UNAM, MPT Floriberto Miguel Cruz from Consejo Regulador del Tequila, or CRT, PhD Luis Alberto Romero Cano from Universidad Autónoma de Guadalajara, and Rocio Fonseca Aguiñaga from CRT and Universidad Autónoma de Guadalajara. I want to start with the tequila definition in the official standard. Tequila is a regional alcoholic beverage obtained by distillation of must come from agave tequilana Weber blue variety in the manufacturing facilities of authorized producer in the appellation of origin territory. This territory consists in 181 localities in 5 states in Mexico. You can see in the picture in the right side. Now, you know what is the tequila, and the tequila has two categories, and the tequila production process is in this slide. The agave is in the field. After that, the agave is harvested. The agave is transported to the factory, and then the agave tequilana Weber blue variety arrives in the factory on the facilities of the producer, is cooking. After that is milling, pressing, and we obtain agave juice. This agave juice is fermented by Saccharomyces cerevisiae for different times. It depends on the process. After that, we obtain agave juice fermented. This agave juice fermented is distilled twice. The first product of the first distillation is the ordinary. This ordinary is distilled again, and we obtain tequila. We continue with different steps, but it depends of the class of your final product. After that is bottle and go to the market. Now I want to share the different categories and classes of the tequila in the official standard. Tequila has 2 categories. The first one is tequila 100% agave. The 100% of sugars come from agave tequilana Weber blue variety only. And the second category is tequila. The 51% of sugars come from agave tequilana Weber blue variety, and the other 49% sugars come from other sugar sources. Now, these 2 categories have 5 classes. The first class is a silver. Silver is a transparent product whose commercial alcohol content must be adjusted by dilution with water. The second class is gold. It's a product that results from blending silver tequila with additives. These additives are permitted by the official standard. And the third class is the age. It's a product that is aging at least 2 months in direct contact with the wood or oak or encino recipients. The next class is extra age. This product is aging at least 1 year in wood or oak recipients with a volume less or equal to 600 liters of tequila. And the last class is the ultra age tequila. This product is aging at least 3 years in wood or oak recipients with a volume less or equal to 600 liters. Now, you know what is the tequila, the categories that exist, the classes. Now, I want to talk about the authenticity. Currently, the authenticity of tequila is made through a permanent verification performed by the conformity assessment organism in the facilities of the tequila producers. This organism is the Tequila Regulatory Council, in Spanish, Consejo Regulador del Tequila, CRT by letters. The CRT confirmed the 100% of the production process. We review the origin and nature of raw materials, verify the good manufacturing practices, the operational controlling, quality systems, traceability, etc. But we have some issues to determine the authenticity in one bottle of tequila. For example, we have a question that are the agave sugars the correct proportion in the tequila category? Was made by agave tequilana Weber blue variety? Was the agave plant cultivated within the protected territory of the appellation of origin tequila, in Spanish, DOT? Now, I want to present the main goals of the CRT. The first one is to verify and certify the compliance with the official Mexican standard for tequila, guarantee the authenticity of tequila, safeguard the appellation of origin tequila in Mexico and abroad, and issue timely and accurate information useful for the agave tequila productive chain. These all activities are made since 1994. Now, the specific case of tequila, we found the tequila consumption has increased in greater volume and more countries around the world. You can see in the chart, the tequila is exported to 120 countries around the world, and the millions of liters produced and exported annually is increasing every single year. If we compare the annual production of tequila 100% agave in 2018 is less than compared in 2010. Now, we did some research about the authenticity issues in the tequila, and we found too many analytical techniques that is used in the authenticity of tequila. But we found the best technique is the solid phase microextraction gas chromatography isotope radio mass spectrometry. This analytical technique gives us all information about the photosynthesis of the three groups in the nature, the C3 that you can find cereals, fruits, and vegetables, the average values of isotope carbon-13 is between -20 to -33 parts per mile. For isotope oxygen, isotope radio oxygen 18 is between 13 to 30 parts per mile. And the second group in the nature is the C4. We can find corn and sugar cane in this group. The values for isotope radio of carbon-13 is between -10 to -20 parts per mile. And the values of oxygen 18 is between 10 to 19 parts per mile. And the last group in the, according to the photosynthesis, is the CAM group, or carboxylaceous acid metabolism. Their values are for carbon-13 between -12 to -30 parts per mile. And for oxygen 18 is between 20 to 26, and we can find agave, pineapple, and vanilla in this group. In this case, we found some issues about the authenticity tequila, and I want to present you. In some important countries, doubts have emerged about tequila authenticity using isotopic analysis of carbon-13 isotope radio mass spectrometry, and carbon-13 in NMR in ethanol, because the laboratories reporting these isotope radios only analyze a reduced number of samples that cannot be considered a representative of the full DOT region. Other issue, the CRT has documented tequila falsification cases in Mexico and other countries that culminated in the destruction of the product. And the last issue that CRT found in this topic is there is evidence of the presence of non-authentic products. Some of them are mixtures of sugar cane alcohol with flavors and colorants. Other cases have involved chemically manipulated drinks in such as way they can comply with the physiochemical parameters of the tequila standard, making current analytical methods insufficient to detect non-authentic products. And this, we can say the CRT has all the information about the behind every single batch of tequila, and the CRT has the advantage they have access in all the industry, and we can obtain an representative of universe of samples. In this case, our study was made in isotope radio mass spectrometry for oxygen 18 and carbon 13. And then we use atomic absorption of copper to establish a complementary analytical method to determine the authenticity of tequila white glass. This study was conducted on 145 samples of tequila, 100% agave, and 75 samples of tequila, which are a representative samples of all tequila producers within the territory of the appellation of origin. Now, we use a stratified random sampling by proportional allocation in order to ensure that each region which conforms the territory of the appellation of origin was considered in the sample. For example, in this table, we have all the regions in the DOT or territory of the appellation of origin. For example, Valles have 55 tequila producers in the region. They are the 38% of the universe in the tequila producers. And we obtain 39% of tequila, 100% from the region Valles, and the same proportional in tequila category. Now, the materials and methods that we use is an automatic distillator that you can see in this picture, and autosamples, 3 plus RSH, this one, a GC model trace 1310, interface GC isolink 2, the universal interface conflow 4, and the isotope radio mass spectrometer delta B plus. We registered and identified with a unique number every single sample. After that, we prepare and distillate to obtain ethanol. We prepare the standards and the samples to determine carbon 13 and isotope 18 in IRMS. After that, we finish with the normalization results and analysis of information. And finally, we validate in the laboratory the methods according to the EURACHEM guide with traceable standards. Right now, the laboratory works on the quality system based in the standard ISO IEC 70025. In addition, the laboratory approved the International Proficiency Test in 2017 2017 and 2019. Now, I want to present the results of our study. For isotope radio of carbon-13, we found the range of the results is in minus 11 to minus 14.5 parts per mile. The 96% of the data are between minus 12 to minus 13.5 parts per mile. Now, in these results, you can see displacements to more positive values to carbon-13 in 2017 and 2018 in two categories that we analyze. This is because, this is according to the information provided by the producers. They give us all information. They use younger plants in these 2 years. Now we did a correlation between carbon-13 versus agave age, and we found the younger plants have more positive values compared to older plants. This is attributed to the photosynthesis of the plants in the fields. And you can see in this chart. And then we constructed an isotope, and the results of the oxygen 18, the range is 15.5 to 26 parts per mile. The 96% of the data you can find in 16 to 24.5 parts per mile. And we found the same displacement to more positive values in the years 2017 and 2018. But we review and in scientific publications exist few information regarding the isotope radius of oxygen 18 in tequila. Currently, there is no conclusive information in this topic due to the multiple factors involved that will affect the isotopic determination. But the isotope radius of carbon-oxygen results can be defined as an indicator of the region's water, cultivation and process, and the average annual temperature which the plant was exposed. These parameters can be used to demonstrate that the agave has been cultivated in the territory of the appellation of origin. Now, we constructed an isotopic chart with isotope radius of carbon-13 versus isotope radius of oxygen 18 in order to validate the isotopic charts as a complementary parameters of authenticity of the products. After that, we evaluated the specificity in 28 samples of alcoholic products from other carbon source than agave tequilana Weber blue variety. We found that 13 true negatives and 15 false positive, indicating a specificity of 46%. But we found too that the alcohol from grapes and wheat, the results correspond to the C3 group with values range of minus 32 to minus 25. This is the true negative, but the false positive, you can see in this place, detected correspond to alcohol samples of sugarcane, mezcal, bacanora, and raicilla. The last three products come from agave, but the different species than agave tequilana Weber grew variety. For this reason, we decided to complement the isotopic chart with the copper content with the aim to improve the specificity. We selected 12 samples, two for agave tequila 100%, two tequilas, two alcohol from sugarcane, two mezcales, two bacanoras, and two raicillas. Why this method? This method is containing the samples because they use copper steels in the distillation process, in the mezcal process, raicilla process, bacanora process, and tequila process. And then we found the sugar cane doesn't have the copper content. There is the tequila and tequila 100%, and this is correspond to the samples of mezcal, bacanora, and raicilla. And we found that if we use these parameters as complementary control, it's easy to discard the samples coming from sugarcane and different species of agave. And our conclusions are the analytical method developed in reproducible with a specificity of 100% and can be used by the regulatory authorities as an additional criteria to determine the authenticity of tequila. It's possible to use the isotope ratio of carbon-13 and copper content as complementary parameters of authenticity to identify tequila and tequila 100% agave silver class. With experimental data obtained, it was possible to build an analytical chart that allows the distinction of alcohols prepared from sugar from different origins, including mezcal, bacanora, and raicilla, with a sensitivity of 100% and a specificity of 100% for the number of samples analyzed. It's all on my part. I want to say thank you to CONACYT, SADER, Consejo Regulador del Tequila, Universidad Autónoma de Guadalajara, and for your attention. Thank you.